Oh, I haven't spoken much yet. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to, what is today? Day 24 of Earth Month Stitch Along. Thanks for joining me here today, and thanks for sharing the artwork you've been stitching from single-use plastic and other worthless, trash-bound materials. I really appreciate that. Today, I'm celebrating Easter, so happy Easter if you're celebrating Easter today. It's the Orthodox Easter today, so that's why I'm doing this really early, because I gotta get to my celebrations. So today is going to be a happy little stitch along. So let me reverse the camera and let's get stitching. Okay, so I don't know if you remember yesterday, I was using this yellow thread to stitch. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Happy Easter wishes. Thank you. Yes, yesterday I was using this yellow thread to stitch down a beehive. I still have plenty left. So I am going to use it for today. And look at this. Another zip tie has been found. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to make a flower out of the zip tie. I'm trimming the end of it. I may or may not use this end. Oh, come on, let's go. Oh, there it goes. I may or may not use this end on something else. But what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to use this fuzzy green thread. And I'm going to stitch the stem. This will be the stem of my flower, and this will be my flower in place. And this is on its edge because that's the only way this thing can go flat. So I'm going to start actually from this knot area, so to speak. And I'm going to secure it here first. Let's make sure that I have it positioned correctly. I think I'm going to just go right in here, and let's hope that holds. And then I'll go in here and in here. So that should secure this sort of like a big X. Should hold that in place. And now I can continue stitching around this this stem part of it. And I'm just going to do just a basic running stitch, couching stitch, whatever you want to call it, just to hold this in place and give it sort of a green look. You know, flower stems are green, and I can't help but thinking flowers and blooms and green and colorful for a few reasons. One of the reasons is, well, obviously spring has sprung around these parts. Finally, everything is blooming. Ow, I just poked myself, talking too much. And the other, of course, is the fact that I am celebrating Easter today. So to me, that is truly the most spring event, my favorite holiday. And the other thing is, yesterday was the opening for my solo exhibit, which was also so full of flowers. I created 10 brand new artworks, all out of single-use plastic and all depicting flowers. So thus, flowers are on my mind quite a bit. All right, so now I'm going to go backwards, and I'm going to make these into little crosses. Sort of looks like a cross-stitch pattern from the front. Let's see if I'm able to make it look like a cross-stitch pattern in the back. Yes, there are little crosses from the back too. Excellent. So nothing super pre-planned, just makes it a pretty little overlap, secures it a little better, and adds a little more color. And that is really all that is necessary here. So I'm going back to here. Just make sure that it's all in place. There we go. Okay, so I'm coming to the end. Now I need to secure this thread. So I am going to add a couple more stitches. I'll add one going this way. And I'll go back through the same hole and back in here. And I'm going to tie it off in the back. So there's plenty of stitches here too, but I'm going to go sort of hook through the stitches that were there and just tie that off. There we go. All right, so the stem is secured. Now for the flower part. So here it is. I'm going to use this leftover yellow thread. And I think what I'm going to do is do the same thing. I'm going to do the crossover stitch to secure this in place. So I'm just going in one direction now, like this. Whoops, and I'm tangling it a bit. Come on, untangle. There we go. I have untangled it. Okay, so I'm just couching this on. There we go. Almost there. Let's hope I don't poke myself like I did a minute ago. Okay, so that is one end. So stay in place. Now I'm going to go back with my little crosses. Sort of make it look like a cross stitch. There we go. And then another one here. These are a little bit wider and since I'm using all 6 strands of this embroidery floss, it's really quite obvious. So, all right, so I did this side of the flower. It's sort of looking like a tulip now, isn't it? Now I'm going to do this part. And again, just couching in one direction with pretty wide stitches. I think I'll just do 3, and that should be plenty. So one more. And now I'm going to go back in the other direction. So this way. Okay. And another. And one more. And now I want to fill in the inside of my flower. So this is sort of like a tulip thing. So I have all this to fill in, and I don't have a lot of thread left. So I think the easiest thing to do is to stitch a few running stitches, and because it's clear, they're showing up on both sides. And I am just going to, let's see, I'm going to do a tulip petal. That's what I'm going to do. So a sort of an abstracted tulip petal, but you'll see it appear in a moment. I want to pull my thread too tight because I want to make sure that it's not gathering my plastic. And I am taking it one stitch at a time because the plastic stretched between the 2 prongs of the Ziploc is keeping it taut, so it's not easy to take more than one running stitch at a time. So there it is, one little tulip. I have a little bit of thread left over, so you know what? I think I will just off. So now it becomes a slightly exotic tulip, right? Well, there are some very exotic tulips out there. So, and the final stitch before I lose my thread that about to come out of my needle. And I think I'll just tie it off right here. Take another stitch and leave the long end hanging. So I'm pulling through, and then I'm with the end of the needle pushing through the hole that I made. And now I'm just going to pull the thread out and pull the needle out too and tug on my end. There it is. There's my exotic tulip for the day because it's Eastern Orthodox Easter. So why not? And it's spring. So there you go. Another zip tie pressed into service to be an artwork. Thanks for being here today. I'll see you all tomorrow.